So a big shift at Dodge is coming here. Dodge before was going all in with the whole electric mandates and things like that, but now they have turned the tide a great bit. They are going all in fast tracking the production of gas powered vehicles. What does this exactly mean for Dodge? And is there a big chance that we could see some sort of Hellcat or a new V8 in the cars going forward in the future? Let's get into it. Being part of the car community is a wonderful feeling, but unfortunately, if you own any sort of Mopar, Camaro, or maybe even a Corvette, you may have to keep your eyes on your car a little bit more due to the increasing theft rates of these vehicles. No matter what mod you may install on your car, make sure one of your first things that you install on your car is CarLock. This is the world's best GPS tracker and alert system. With CarLock, you will be able to live track your car via GPS directly from your phone, as well as get alerts sent to your phone for any kind of activity that may be going on to your car, such as your engine starting when it should not be starting or your car moving when it should not be moving. And if there's a power loss that the CarLock will detect, it will give you an alert for that as well. Make sure you protect yourself with CarLock by going to the link in the description below and using these codes here to get yourself a 10% discount as well as a 14-day free trial for your CarLock. You deserve that peace of mind. Let's go ahead and get into the video. You see the title and you see the thumbnail. Dodge is finally listening to the consumers, listening to their fan base and understanding what they must do to make sure their company stays afloat. They are now prioritizing making gas-powered vehicles in the near future. Now, this is what's happening here. So we all know the inline six, the Hurricane engine is supposed to go in the new Dodge Charger, right? Now, the whole timeline for that car has shifted quite a bit. Dodge's initial plan was to bring that car out in the beginning of 2025. Then over time, that whole timeline changed. They pushed that car back from the beginning of the year to now the end of the year. Well, actually, they kind of kept pushing it back through the year and making it later and later. The most recent time that this car is supposed to be released was the end of 2025. However, that has changed dramatically here. So now Dodge has shifted and now is bringing this car up by 5 months. So instead of this car being released at the end of 2025, they are now pushing this car to come out in sometime in the middle of 2025. Now, we know the six-pack is not a V8, but this is a very good look for Dodge to push up the production of this particular car. Now, I've been a lot of comments on various YouTube videos, on Facebook, Facebook groups, basically everywhere, and pretty much a lot of people are saying that they are not excited at all about the electric cars. They are more excited for the inline six and would consider buying that car because it is gas powered and it does offer more horsepower than the current Scat Pack and things of that nature. So a lot of people are interested in this car despite it not having a V8, but we're going to get into the V8s in just a second. So what honestly sparked this change in Dodge's direction here? We all know they was really all in with this electric car stuff. Like, they had no plans to release the inline six-pack Dodge Charger until after they had released the electric cars. Now, I said on a lot of videos of mine that I don't think that's a good move. They could release both of those cars side by side and give people a choice to buy whether they want the electric car or the inline six version of the car. But just releasing only the electric cars first was not a good move. But that has changed. Now, a couple things could went into that change here. Now, the first thing is they could have actually listened to the consumer, which honestly, I doubt that's the case because the consumers, all of us have been saying they're going to die with these electric vehicles. No one was excited about them at all. But the other thing that may have sparked this change was due to the recent change in administration that will be coming up, right? When we're talking about the whole political side of things, right? We're never go too deep into that, but we know that the incoming administration does have plans to get rid of the current EPA regulations, which pretty much handcuffed Dodge to a point where they couldn't even come out with any V8 engines anymore. Now, with this announcement coming out, pretty much right after the whole election and things of that nature, it leads me to believe one or two things. Either one, they could have already pushed up the production of the car, because it's kind of hard to just completely change your production dates of a car. Why they delayed it until the end of the year when they could have pushed it up for whatever reason, but all of a sudden they're able to push it up, right? That leads me to believe that they had the ability to sell these cars sooner but chose not to. To me, honestly, I think it was already planned for them to push up the production of this car. Like I said, the original timeline for the six-pack Charger to come out was going to be the beginning of 2025. They moved that date around so many times, right? And they still, honestly, they still haven't even released their 2024 cars, and it's almost 2025. But nonetheless, I think they had the ability to release it. For whatever reason, they decided just to keep pushing it back and prioritize the EV cars or whatever. Now, before we hop into the V8 stuff here, let's talk about the six-pack here. So what is the cost of this car going to be? To be honest, if we see that the Charger Daytona, those are going for around, like, we're seeing sticker prices for like $70,000 and $80,000 and things of that nature, right? I think honestly we can see this car, the six-pack Charger, coming out between $50,000 and $60,000. You got to look at kind of the current generation Chargers that's out there now and the performance that they have. We're seeing scat packs for 485 horsepower going for the 50s, or where they should be going for the 50s, or probably lower than that. So if you're going to come out with an engine that has close to the same performance and another engine that has more performance with the two versions of the six-pack, the Hurricane engine, I should say, we can expect these cars to be probably between 50 and 60, to be honest here. To widen that range a little bit more than likely between $40,000 and $60,000. But they need to be priced well if they do want these gas-powered cars to sell as well as they hope. But let's be completely honest here. The inline-six engine, the Hurricane engine, is not a V8, and the only thing we care about is V8s when it comes to Dodge, right? So how likely is it that Dodge will come out with a V8 now that there is a potential for EPA regulations to be rolled back? Well, this is what I'm thinking about when it comes to the V8 here. The six-pack Charger does have the capabilities of putting a V8 in it already, so it wouldn't be that hard to put a V8 engine into that car at all. Now, what V8 engine they could put in there? Now, this is where it could get kind of interesting here. There are rumors that they are developing a new V8 that probably won't be out for a couple of years. But if they want to do something quicker than that, I feel like the best option for them would be to put a Hellcat engine into the new Dodge Charger. And the reason is this: I don't see them getting rid of the inline-six Hurricane engines at all. They already put time and money into those engines. I don't see them going away from that engine at all, right? In fact, those will probably be the lower trim of the gas power engines, and they'll make the Hellcat the top trim. So if you really want a V8 in this car, you got to pay to play, right? With these Hurricane engines, you have 420 horsepower and about 520 horsepower or something of that nature. If you come out with a 392, you put a 392 engine into the new Dodge Charger, you're pretty much cutting into the sales of your inline-six engines, because the 392 is 485. It's just above the lower end of the inline-six and still below the top end. So you don't want to cut into those sales. So what Dodge may do here is bring back the Hellcat in the new body, and that will be your top trim. Now, as far as price-wise, you're probably going to pay a pretty penny for it, right? You're probably going to be paying probably upper 80s, $90,000 for this particular car, right? Now, we know Dodge is like notorious for going back when they were and saying something's never going to come out again, and then it comes out again. That's why I think the Hellcat could be a good engine to put into the car until they come out with the new V8. Now, one thing I do think Dodge will be doing here, don't expect Dodge to have V8s everywhere like they used to. I think they're going to kind of change their whole sales strategy. Part of the reason why they had to go so hard into the electric market is because of the fact they had so many V8s. A lot of their competitors wasn't selling that many trims of V8s. Like, for example, Ford, when it came to their Mustang, they really only had two V8s. They had the 5.0 and they had the 5.2 liter that was in their GT500, and that was really it. Even Chevy was the same way with the Camaro. Even though they got rid of Camaro, they still have the Corvette. They only had like two different engines in the Camaro when it came to V8s. You had your 6.2 liter naturally aspirated one, and you had your 6.2 liter supercharged one in the ZL1 trims. Dodge really had V8s in so many trims: 5.7, 6.4, Hellcat, Red Eye, Demon, Superstock. They had so many different V8 trims till it was just insane, right? So don't expect Dodge to do the same thing. I fully expect Dodge, whenever they do decide to come out with a new engine, to maybe make one V8 engine and kind of stick with that one engine. So gone are the days where you have 5 different V8 trims, right? we're probably not going to have that many. And this engine will probably be developed to be ran naturally aspirated, as well as maybe some sort of boost, so either turbocharged or supercharged on top of that as well, just to give you different options with that one engine. But don't expect like 3 and 4 different V8s to come out of Dodge in the future. So those are my thoughts. I think the window or opportunity for Dodge to bring back V8s is here. I think they do have the opportunity to do it. Don't expect them, like I said, to have V8s everywhere like they used to in the past. They're going to be much smarter and much more streamlined with their V8 rollout. Maybe the Hellcat will be coming out to kind of be that bridge until the new engine does come out. But as of right now, that's kind of what I'm expecting to see from Dodge here. I still think they should have came out with the 6-pack Charger sooner. They still are behind with that. There is enough of a buzz for that car to do pretty decent in sales, but they're still kind of doing themselves. They're still kind of hurting themselves in that aspect by still having it come out the middle of next year. That car should be coming out at the beginning of 2025 still. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about Dodge future now with gas-powered vehicles being prioritized and being fast-tracked to production? And how do you feel about the potential of V8s coming back to these cars in the next few years? Let me know in the comments below. If you made it this far, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We do a lot of car related things on this channel. We'll catch you on the next video. We're out. Cut it.